Since childhood, many of us hear the story of David and Goliath, a young pastor who, with a simple stone, knocked a fearsome giant. But have you ever wondered if Goliath was the only giant mentioned in the Bible? What if I told you that there is evidence that these colossal creatures were scattered throughout the history of humanity, linked to mysterious reports of fallen angels, floods, and even ancient mythologies? The Bible mentions the Nephilim, beings who arose from the union of the children of God with the daughters of men. But who were these children of God? And how did these giants influence ancient civilizations from the days of Moses to the narratives of Greek mythology and Sumer? Some apocryphal texts, such as the Book of Enoch, offer fascinating clues, while Jewish traditions and primitive Christianity suggest that giant spirits may have become the demons that haunt the world to this day. Get ready for an intense journey through the Bible and surprising historical records. Let's explore the connections between Og, king of Bashan, the titans of Greece, Gilgamesh, and even the pagan cults who revered these colossal beings. The truth can be much deeper than we think, and maybe these giants never completely disappeared. The story of David and Goliath is one of the best-known accounts of the Bible and exemplifies the triumph of the unlikely over the impossible. Goliath, a giant Philistine almost 3 meters high, terrified the armies of Israel. He wore a bronze breastplate that weighed about 60 kilograms and carried a spear whose tip alone weighed 7 kilograms. No warrior dared to face him until a young pastor, David, moved by faith, accepted the armed challenge with only one foundry and a few stones. David had no shining armor or experience in battle, but he had something even more powerful: unshakable confidence in God. With a single right shot, he hit Goliath's forehead and knocked him down, then beheading him with the giant's own sword. This is not only guaranteed Israel's victory, but also proved that the true force does not come from size or weapons, but from faith and determination. The episode reinforces the mystery that surrounds the giants of the Bible, leaving questions about their origins and role in history. But was Goliath just an isolated case? Or would there be other giants wandering down the earth? The answer leads us to another colossus of antiquity, a king whose own bed was a monument to his scary stature, Og, king of Bashan. The Bible mentions another legendary giant, Og, king of Bashan, one of the last survivors of the Rephaim, a line of post-Diluvian giants. Its size was so impressive that its bed, made of iron, media about 4 meters long and 2 meters wide. This detail, mentioned in the book of Deuteronomy, highlights the physical and cultural impact of these colossal figures on biblical history. Og ruled Bashan, a land full of fortresses and mysteries. His army was defeated by Moses and the Israelites, thus fulfilling a divine order to conquer the lands of the giants. The resistance of this titanic king suggests that the Nephilim and his descendants did not completely disappear with the flood. Instead, somehow, the giant lineage continued to exist in different civilizations and historical reports. If Og, Goliath, and other giants inhabited the earth, where did they come from? To find this answer, we need to return to the enigmatic report of the Nephilim in the Bible, a stretch that arouses heated debates between scholars to this day. The passage of Genesis 6:14 brings one of the greatest mysteries of the Old Testament, the history of the Nephilim. The text mentions that the children of God joined the daughters of men and generated extraordinary beings, known as the Nephilim, who became famous warriors and heroes of antiquity. But who were these children of God? Many interpretations point to the Vigilantes, a group of fallen angels mentioned in the book of Enoch, who would have abandoned their heavenly position to mix with humanity. The consequence of this forbidden union would have been the birth of giants and hybrid beings that had supernatural strength and wisdom. The corruption generated by these creatures was so extreme that, according to some Jewish and Christian traditions, it would have been one of the main reasons for God to send the flood in an attempt to clean the land of this impure descent. But did the flood manage to eradicate the giants completely? Or did the Nephilim seed survive in any way? What do the Bible and other old texts say about it? The flood was an event of catastrophic proportions, described as a means of purification of the world of evil that had spread. However, even after the waters have retreated, the Bible continues to mention giants, such as the Rephaim and the Anakims. How would this be possible? One possibility is that some remnant of the Nephilim has managed to survive, or that their lineage reappeared after the flood. Interestingly, similar stories appear in other ancient cultures. Gilgamesh's epic, for example, speaks of a king with semi-diverse attributes that survived the great Mesopotamian flood. Greek mythology also mentions the Titans, a race of giants destroyed by the gods. These similarities suggest that the narrative of the giants in a great flood transcends the Bible and is part of a much broader mystery of humanity. And if the giants persisted, did they still represent a threat to the Israelites? What happened when Moses and Joshua advanced on Canaan and found lands inhabited by these colossal creatures? Even centuries after the flood, the Bible records that giants still inhabited the earth. When Moses sent spies to Canaan, they reported having seen men of huge stature, the descendants of Anak, who made the Israelites feel like grasshoppers next to them. Subsequently, Joshua and his warriors faced several tribes of giants, including the fearsome Rephaim and the Zamzummites. And the reports don't stop there. Goliath himself, which David faced, belonged to a giant people. The Bible also mentions its brothers and other colossal warriors, such as Sippai and Lami, who were defeated by the Israelites. This raises an intriguing question: if these giants continued to exist, would some were still hidden, or that their influence was absorbed in other ancient cultures? To better understand this connection, we need to explore apocryphal texts and mythological parallels that bring additional information about the origin and destination of these gigantic beings. While the Bible mentions the Nephilim briefly, some apocryphal texts, such as the Book of Enoch and the Book of the Giants, dive deeper into this story. They talk about the vigilantes, angels who rebelled and descended to earth to teach forbidden secrets to humans. The result of this union was the birth of giants with supernatural skills and an insatiable appetite. But these stories are not exclusive to the Judeo-Christian tradition. Gilgamesh's epic mentions a king who had superhuman force and semi-divine origin. Greek mythology narrates the confrontation of the gods against the Titans, a primitive race of giants. Even figures like Zeus and Hercules reflect the ancient theme of the intersection between divine and mortals. If Bible giants share so much similarities to these myths, were they just legends or something deeper behind these stories? This leads us to an even more intriguing point: the possible relationship between the giants and the demons of primitive Christianity. Bible giants are much more than mere mythological figures or characters of ancient tales. They appear in various sacred reports and even in traditions of civilizations around the world. From David and Goliath to the Nephilim and the vigilantes, these stories make us reflect on mysteries not yet completely resolved. Would these beings really exist? Or would they just be symbolic representations of something larger? Regardless of the answer, the fact is that the subject continues to instigate scholars, theologians, and curious to this day. What can we learn from these reports? What do they mean to our faith and understanding of the history of humanity? If the Bible and other ancient texts speak of these beings, perhaps there are more hidden truths than we imagined. After all, how many other mysteries are still waiting to be discovered? If you like this content and want to continue this discovering journey, subscribe to the channel and enable notifications so as not to lose the next videos. Let's exploit the hidden truths that challenge time and expand our understanding of the spiritual and historical world.